Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office with another detailed look at your weather forecast for December the 19th, 2023 on this fantastic Tuesday. In today's forecast, we are very concerned about Southern California as a moderate risk of heavy rainfall has been issued by the Weather Prediction Center. Also along to go with flooding. And then we have that big storm by early next week in time for Christmas traveling that could really lead to a lot of issues. So we have a lot to break down in today's update. To start off this video, we're going to first look at Southern California, and then we will be talking about the rest of the US about that storm for early next week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But urgent message right now is for Southern California, where we do have a moderate risk of heavy rainfall and flooding that is anticipated. So forwarding the clock, this is, by the way, 4 o'clock this afternoon. We do got some showers over Los Angeles, over San Diego, even Bakersfield, Sacramento, over the Bay Area. Some hit and miss showers today before the real part of this system really gets underway. This is for tomorrow morning, right around 1 in the morning in Los Angeles time, so Pacific Standard. We can see showers increasing there, and then it really gets going. The orographic effect, which means we get a lot of moisture that gets squeezed out, okay? Let me just pause this. So when we have a big mountainside, I'm going to do a good illustration here, and when we get air currents that blow this way, you actually get a lot of moisture that gets squeezed out in the form of heavier rainfall, right? And so that's what the orographic effect actually is. So it might not be raining as much if you are, say, in Orange County, or if you're like in Anaheim, if you're down there across, say, portions of San Diego or Santa Ana, right? But if you're along the western facing slopes of these mountains, like the San Gabriel Mountains, the Hollywood Hills, just keep that in mind. If you're in Simi Valley, if you are in, say, if you're in, Fraser Park, if you are in, say, Santa Clarita, if you're in San Bernardino, if you are in, say, Covina, if you are in Laverne, if you are in, I know this area very well. It is a perfect spot to get the orographic effects going if the winds are perpendicular to those south-facing slopes. I should say, not western-facing slopes. So a lot of moisture is going to be focused here, and you can just see it's going to be dumping in some of these areas even before the front really gets reinforced, and it really is here when a lot of the moisture is just going to be falling really hard, even into the desert southwest, like Phoenix, Arizona. This is by Friday morning, so for your morning commute. Could still be raining. So we're talking about rain, folks, from tonight, so from Tuesday, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, most of the day Friday. I mean, that's 3.5 days of moderate to heavy rainfall over Southern California here as that disturbance moves on through. Therefore, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk for heavy rainfall. Okay, and I'm going to kind of focus in on this really quickly. If you're in Santa Barbara, if you're in Ventura, Oxnard, if you're in Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, if you're in Santa Paula, if you're in Fillmore, even if you're in Santa Monica, Eaglewood, if you are in West Hollywood, yeah, Justin Bieber lives in the Hollywood Hills, then this is for you. If you're watching this, I don't know if you are Justin Bieber, but you get the idea. Gonna be dumping pretty hard there. Lots of risks of flooding. If you're in Simi Valley, Calabasas, you're under a moderate risk of heavy rainfall, and more so if you're in Anaheim, Santa Ana, Huntington Beach, Ontario. If you're in El Monte, Glendale, Pasadena, you're under a slight risk of heavy rainfall. Down here, even, look at this, Oceanside, you can go all the way down into San Diego, National City, Tijuana. If you're in El Cajon, just be aware of that. There is going to be quite a bit of rainfall, and that's why there's a slight risk. San Bernardino, Moreno Valley, if you're in let's go to Palm Springs, Palm Desert. I might even live stream on this in a greater discussion tonight. I'll have to see on how things evolve, but this has the potential, folks, of being very significant, maybe even historic in some sense, especially over the higher terrain here, where you could see several inches of rainfall. And just how much rain could accumulate over the next 90 hours? My goodness, quite a bit of rainfall. 7 inches of rainfall along the kind of Southern California, like Malibu. You could get 7 inches of rainfall. Yeah, that's from the Euro, by the way. You might see 3 inches, but if we, of course, dig deeper into our high-resolution models, like the WPC, also on board with that. Maybe 5 inches, but up here, look at this. Right where my mouse is, could even see 10 inches of rainfall in the next 84 hours. That is a lot of moisture, okay? That's no joke. No bueno. All right, looking at the national blend of models, anywhere between 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. So again, there's a lot of agreement here on a lot of the models, including even the GFS. Well, the GFS is actually very conservative, I guess. It's been like that for a while. The Euro and along to go with others like the Canadian model, really aggressive. Look at this. The Canadian actually wants 10 inches of rainfall in the Hollywood Hills, including for Calabasas as well as the Simi Valley. That's the moderate risk is used for a reason, okay? Looking at the 12-kilometer model on the NAM, because they're still rendering right now, the 18Z output, also indicating quite a bit of moisture. So long story short, prepare for flooded roadways, mudslides, debris flows, that sort of thing. There is going to be quite a bit of flooding, major flooding in these areas where a flood watch is already issued. Now, taking a look at the bigger picture here of the entire United States, including for southern Canada, because that same system is going to trigger even more problems once it gets into the Midwest and the Northeast by the latter part of the weekend into early next week. No, it just does not stop here. The system is going to actually make a road trip all the way across the United States, and it's going to bring impacts wherever it's impacting, okay? So I need you all to listen closely because I'm going to break down a lot of information that you don't normally hear. So first of all, this is a look at Friday morning on the Euro model for Texas, for Oklahoma, also for Missouri. Going to be a soggy one for your Friday morning commute for December the 22nd. By the way, this is the first day after the shortest day, which is at about 7:30 at night on the 21st in Pacific Standard Time. That would be about 10:35 or so at night in the Eastern time zone. So if you're wondering when is winter solstice, it is on the 21st at approximately 7 for my time. And then you go east, it's going to be later. So we can see there's our system there for Southern California. And as we go forward in time, we can see how this all plays out. It's really Sunday. There's always got to be something on Sunday, right? We had that big storm last weekend on Sunday and Monday for the Northeast. Now, this weekend coming up for the 23rd and the 24th, we have a Midwest storm that could actually trigger severe weather. There's always got to be something going on during the weekend, right? Why can't we just have a nice, quiet weekend? I mean, this is coming in at the wrong time for a lot of you folks living in the Midwest. We got snow over Wyoming, over portions of the Dakotas. So after all, you might see a white Christmas, and Santa Claus might enjoy that or will enjoy that, but Santa Claus not going to enjoy so much of the rainfall in the Midwest because it's going to be raining. So going forward, you can see here by Christmas Day, there's Christmas Day, you can see it's just soggy for a lot of folks down here. So if you are in the Southeast, if you're in Florida, just keep in mind we're talking about a lot of convective nature showers, which could be heavy at times. We're also talking about quite a bit of rainfall over Wisconsin. No snow. I know you guys are snow lovers, winter lovers, not going to see snow. No white Christmas, unfortunately, for the time being, according to our Euro model. However, again, up here, you're going to see some in the way of snowfall. And then that system moves into the Northeast and re-amplifies. Look at this. My gosh. This is the 27th of December. And we can see for New York, we have some moderate to heavy rainfall. But of course, that's pretty far out in the model run. And there's a lot of changes to be made. If we look at the 0Z run, you can see, okay, it was further south. Let's look at the 12Z run on December the 18th. All right, very different. So again, that's December the 18th, 12Z run, 0Z December the 19th. That was last night's run. And now this is this morning's run. And we can see there's a lot of waffling around. But we know a system is going to exist here in the Midwest for sure. It looks like by the latter part of the weekend and early next week, which could really bring a lot of impacts. Not only that, to take note of, it's going to get stormy across California as well. So if you're trying to get away of the, well, whatever stormy weather you see here for the Midwest, going back west and you stay until New Year's could end up being stormy as well. You can see storm there for California, and then maybe another one, another atmospheric river for the west. So yeah, while it's going to be dry right around Christmas time for California standards after this big storm that's rolling through, it's going to dry out, and then it's going to turn right back into the stormy pattern by the time we go into New Year's. Something that we have to look forward to. We need rain. We really do. We're well behind normal. Now, how much snowfall could you see out of that Midwest storm for early next week? Well, right now, this is on the European ensemble. Okay, 51 members, folks. This is an average of most of the members put together, and we get in an ensemble forecast. So this is not your deterministic. This is as accurate as I can make things. Okay, I don't want to hype things up. I don't want to scare you all and be like, oh my gosh, David's looking at one run. All right, this is the ensemble forecast. And so it's showing us that the best chances for any snowfall could accumulate, well, if you're actually even down here as well, the best chances, I should say, for a white Christmas will be across the four corners, the higher elevations. If you're in the Wyoming area, if you're in the Dakotas, if you're in Colorado, you have a good chance at seeing at least some sort of snow there, anywhere between, say, 2 inches, maybe up to 5 inches. The higher elevations here of the Sierra, again, will be dependent on, again, our snow levels have been really high lately. So a white Christmas, probably not on the deck of cards, especially if you're in Lake Tahoe, where snow levels will be still right around 7,000 feet today, and they should be coming down by late tonight once that cooler air moves in. But until then, we're having some high snow levels and limited amounts of accumulation there so far. This is the best chances of seeing a white Christmas in the areas that I've circled in, including for maybe the Cascades. But really, not much going on down here or in the upper Midwest. Nothing for the deep south. So if you guys are hoping for a white Christmas, probably it's likely to not occur at all. Now, how much rainfall could you see on the ensemble forecast from the Euro? Well, we can see anywhere between maybe an inch to a couple of inches for the deep south and for the southeast, which is slightly below average for this time of the year, with near to above average precipitation looking likely there for California, where you might see an additional couple of inches of rainfall through the end of December, which is good. We need the rain. We could use every bit of a drop, right? Every drop counts. Looking pretty dry up here if you're in Montana and North Dakota, which is unfortunate. You all need the precipitation really, not really good. At least Indiana is going to get in the way of some shower activity. So now, I want to explain to you all what you're looking at here, and we're going to be looking at this in great detail. This is now a deterministic forecast because this is kind of a possible scenario. So what you're looking at here is height anomalies, okay? I like showing the jet stream, but I will also want to show you all this map. So this is basically showing us where there is ridges. If the ridges are stronger than average, like we have the Greenland block right here. See this? This is a very strong ridge because it's anomalously strong. We have the 594 decameter height line that far north. And this right here that I'm circling in is a trough, or, lower than normal heights. You got a trough up here in Alaska. You got another trough up here, north of Greenland. Actually, right over Greenland, I should say. And this is kind of showing us in another trough down here, by the way. So this is basically showing me on who's going to get some active weather, who might see some rain or snow, or who is going to see some dry, quiet weather. So in this case, right now, when looking at this map, we can see North America here is kind of painted in orange. This means we have a lot of ridging that is in place, except for the west and except for the eastern seaboard with that trough. Okay, that is kind of hugging the coast, right? That's moving offshore. But this is going to be followed by increased ridging. So by the time we go into Thursday this week and then into Friday, we can see a lot of ridging. We're not seeing a lot in the way of active weather. The weather pattern is going to be very quiet. The Storm Prediction Center could probably go to sleep and relax because there's not going to be a lot to track at all. It's not until we get into early next week, again, this low that is over Southern California, it's disturbing weather is going to be moving into the Midwest and the Deep South, as you can see there, followed by a lot of blocking up here in higher latitudes. So over Canada, over the northeast U.S., likely to see increased blocking, more warmer than normal temperatures, more trough approaching the west here, as you can see, with shortwave ridging in between, as we can see here in place. And then this continues by the time, sorry, my eyes are itching today. So if I rub too much, I'm very sorry. So December the 28th on Friday, okay, this is after Christmas and looking towards New Year's. There's your disturbance right there. From, say, from Southern California, it's going to take a long time for it to get here. It's going to be a slow mover. It's going to be a snail, and this is going to yield more stormy weather. Below average heights, cooler temperatures with ridging over Canada and another trough approaching the west. Hopefully, I explained as good as I can with this, but this is a height anomaly. Now, if you're specific on what does a jet stream look like in this pattern, we can see right down here, we have the 200 millibar jet that goes into central and southern California and then across the southeast and then up into the northeast somewhat with ridging. You can even see it here. This is a fairly strong ridge that is cut off from the overall jet or from the overall polar vortex that we have with a trough here and a trough here and a trough here. A classic El Nino look, I should say. What does this mean as far as your temperature anomalies go? So again, this is a look at departure from average, folks, okay? Climatology. In other words, so are the temperatures going to be above average for this time of the year, or are they going to be below average? So what you're looking at here is a color code. So areas in orange and red and gray colors are above average temperatures. Areas in the light blue, the dark blue, and the green are below average. And when you get purple like this up here in Greenland, that's well below average. I mean, that's probably in the record books for the coldest temperatures in a daily average. So therefore, that's what I like. This is what I like to use a lot. So going forward, we can see that it's going to be warmer than normal. I mean, come on, you can't miss this at all. The next 3 to 4 days are warmer than they should be because of that ridge that we talked about. A lot of ridging in the Midwest and even into Canada. So no Arctic air masses. Nothing is coming, so don't even ask that, oh, it's going to be cold for my area, David. Well, yeah, but instead of seeing maybe -5 or -10 degrees, you might see temperatures right around the upper 20s to lower 30s in your area. But again, departure from normal is what we look at. So this is kind of frozen on me. Let me reload it. So we can see the temperature anomalies are going to still be above normal. Look at this for Canada. I mean, out to 10 days, I mean, come on. That's 33 degrees above normal, and it has trended warmer in the last few model runs, and you can see this well indicated. So this tells me we're still going to see a lot of blocking, this subtropical jet aiming south with a split flow that's going to favor this area under a ridge of high pressure. So very little in the way of active weather for Canada, more likely more rain than snow at this point, and then even out to 15 days on the ensemble forecast. Looking pretty warm, actually, and that's very unfortunate. Cooler for the lower latitudes, and this is actually very coincidental with an El Nino, very strong El Nino signal in place. Now, as far as your precipitation anomaly goes, I just want to show you all this really quickly. Again, departure from normal, these are anomalies. So wetter than normal across the west. Now, don't worry about the Sierra being below average. There's an error for some reason that the Euro ensemble likes to pick up on, but definitely wetter than normal for the desert Southwest. That is for sure. There is no doubt in my mind. We're going to see a really dry ending to December. Wetter than average down here across the deep south and the southeast, followed by below average anomalies over the northeast as well as the upper Midwest, including for Indiana, Ohio, unfortunately, and very much so for the Pacific Northwest. Very dry over Washington and Oregon. Probably going to end up being one of the driest Decembers, potentially. It's hard to say. Could be very on the lower third of the scale of being one of the driest Decembers on record. For sure, it could be that way in January because of El Nino, because of the ridge up here. Going to favor mainly California, like I said, with that jet. That's going to really keep things wet for the west and for the deep south. Well, that's going to sum it up for today's U.S. weather forecast for Tuesday, December the 19th, 2023. I sure hope this video helped you out a lot, folks. If it did, please consider subscribing if you're new. And also, be sure to check out my website, sacramentoweathercenter.com. It's been a while since I made a blog post. I have just been way too busy with a lot of stuff, and I really hope I can get a break and I could actually spend a lot of time here posting weather updates. I should have one out tonight or this afternoon. I'm not sure yet. I have a lot going on today. But otherwise, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And I will be back with you more tomorrow with another update. Maybe tonight. Maybe I'll have to do a special live stream on the latest thinking on the forecast. But that wouldn't be scheduled until like maybe 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. I'll have to see. Otherwise, maybe tomorrow I'll just do a live stream for you all since I haven't went live in a while. But you also got to check me out on Twitter as well, where I am going to probably be doing a little bit of a text update as far as our upcoming weather pattern goes. All right, you can't miss that at all. Thank you all for watching. Whoop!